Well, let's stay with the chip industry because we have had results today from Intel's big rival, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, or TSMC as it's known. So profits were down 19% as global economic woes hit demand for chips used in applications from cars to cell phones and servers. TSMC is Asia's most valuable company, and that value went up by a third last year amid excitement about artificial intelligence, which is driving demand for the most advanced chips, an area dominated by TSMC. Well, let's get a view on the outlook. Malcolm Penn, who's chairman and chief executive of Future Horizons, providing consultancy in the semiconductor and electronics industry. Welcome to the programme. So it sounds like a big fall in profits, but actually TSMC, we assume, is in a very strong position.
That's absolutely right. And I think the profits is just one aspect of it. And their penetration and revenue growth is another one. And in fact, the results they announced were slightly better than expectations from the analysts around the world. And I think that's something to say the strength of their position that they are in, because they are everywhere. They do have a very strong position in the market. And as Pat said, the industry is cyclical and we are just coming out of a down cycle, and everybody's affected. And they are coming out of it, and this is the point where they're on the turn there, and they're coming out of it very strongly. And in fact, their growth on a quarterly basis was much faster than the overall market. So they're in a very strong position.
What are you concerned about then, if anything, when it comes to the outlook for this company? Is China's view or its position or the geopolitics with China and Taiwan an issue at all?
It has to be. I mean, we've seen this increase in rhetoric from China, still anxious to bring it back into the greater Chinese fold. And of course, that is going to be a cause of tension. And of course, because TSMC is so dominant in the industry, and especially at the leading edge of technology, where you really have no other choice, Apple would be crippled without TSMC, for example. So that is going to be a tension, but it's one which I think is not going to be resolved by an invasion as Russia invaded Ukraine. It's going to have to be resolved by negotiation over a period of time. And I think both sides of China and the West understand that if Taiwan was invaded by China, it would be a apocalypse in the world from a semiconductor point of view, and that affects 10% of the world GDP.
And it's interesting to see TSMC getting closer to the United States, building factories in the US, etc. I mean, that's an interesting development as well on the part of this company.
It certainly is, because one of their strengths has been their ability to concentrate in various sectors around the world, which gives them a huge economy of scale, but it also gives them a huge advantage in terms of communication between factories, coordination, and all of those aspects there. So as you diversify out, you lose that little bit of an edge, and you also lose a cost advantage. So there will be an impact, both directly and indirectly, in the products may actually cost a little bit more when you have this wider geographic spread.
OK, interesting to get your take. Sorry, we've got to leave it there. Thank you, Malcolm Penn there.